going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Pop Culture Corner. My name is Ty. I'm your host. We'll be here tonight discussing some implications that came out from San Diego Comic Con. Still reeling from such an insane, just set of events. The things that were announced, the things that are talked about that still haven't even seen the light of day. It's just absolutely tremendous. I'm here today or tonight with RJ, the Marvel Maniac. What's going on, RJ?
Hey, what's up, Ty? What a day, man. It's been like a crazy weekend. I feel like
Literally,
Saturday especially was just like huge day. It was like Nerd Super Bowl, man. Nerd
it
Super
what?
Bowl.
That's such a good way to put it, a nerd Super Bowl, because I think that's the only thing that characterizes like the feelings that I was having over the weekend. Just like
Mm.
when some of the news was coming out, um, even being at a con myself, like with Saggy. By the way, she made me take a picture of Denny's for you. I don't know why.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, she made me take that picture. But all and through, like just the weekend itself was electrifying, and I knew it was going to be. I said it was going to be, a crazy weekend, and it turned out to be exactly that. I mean, the implications alone for Marvel are just insane. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, no, it was a big weekend for sure.
so let's start with the Disney Plus stuff. So the Disney Plus stuff, more like Daredevil. What are your expectations for that show? Is it going to be a variant Daredevil? Is it going to be the Matt Murdock that we know and love? Is it going to be just basically a reboot, or is it like a continuation?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the question of the day, right? I mean, again, this was a huge surprise. I think honestly, like in terms of like engagement on social media, that was like the standout announcement. Um I'm really excited. I think the fact that it's going to be 18 episodes is insane.
Why,
That
like that in itself is crazy to me because but it also scares me because the more episodes, that means the more money per budget that you need. And sometimes when you do long seasons like that, some things do get sacrificed. We see this in Superman and Lois. We see this in the CW shows, and we've seen it in other TV programs.
mm.
But if
Yeah,
they
no,
can do
no,
that
it definitely.
correctly,
Yeah, I mean, it could be concerning for sure, but I mean, listen, a lot of people have been complaining about the 6 episode lengths for these, so I think expanding that out a little bit is never necessarily a bad thing, you know?
right, right. Well, 13, I feel like would have been more appropriate because I don't know if you remember, but 13 was like the Daredevil magic number
Right. Yeah.
for Netflix. So maybe sticking with what worked would have been a good idea, or maybe even dropping it to 10 episodes. Because I mean, even new characters aren't getting that much attention. So it's almost like two seasons in one.
Hmm.
And Vincent D'Onofrio is going to be back as Kingpin. Um, do you think we'll see Echo? Probably.
Probably, yeah. I would imagine we would. I'd be shocked if she didn't at least somewhat appear.
Yeah. So and then I mean, then we start to think like, from Daredevil, we expand outward, right? Now we're talking um, the full defenders. What's gonna happen there? Because
Hmm.
Finn Jones, I thought Finn Jones didn't get a fair shake of things. So being able to see, or at least being able to showcase what he could be like as Iron Fist would be really cool. There are rumors that Jessica Jones will show up in She-Hulk. Not sure how, you know, um, true that is, but I mean, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think overall, when it comes to their strategy this year, especially, they let us know, like, hey, we understand, like, you have some concerns. We understand you guys want a clear roadmap and you want a clear direction. Well, here it is, right? I mean, like, they really, I think, responded to that very well. And I think that they ultimately won Comic Con, but I think also, like, they kind of unexpectedly kind of did, like, overkill in a good way, though, because, like, literally nobody's expecting this much. People have their expectations high, but not this high. right? I mean,
Right.
like a
Right.
smorgasbord of information and just insane reveals too. I mean, it was just like it was a lot. It was a lot, and I think that at the end of the day, like they set up, they had a specific goal in mind, and they accomplished that in spades because again, they delivered, they surpassed expectations. But they also delivered on what was necessary to make sure that their event was as like awesome as possible. You know?
Prestigious.
Yeah.
It was literally prestigious. Like that that will go down as one of the better panels that they've ever had. Just like with the sheer number of things that were announced and the sheer excitement that was, encapsulated by, I'm sure, the people that were there, right? Because I mean, you don't just sit through that and not be, over the moon excited,
Right.
right? So I mean, secret secret invasion. It so did they like was there any footage that was shown?
Yes, they did show some footage exclusive for those in attendance. Yes.
Okay. So do you could we see that leak out online at any time? Maybe.
It's not impossible. I mean, Marvel security is pretty tight usually, but a couple things already did leak, so it's not impossible.
Right. So a secret invasion is another show that I'm in, I think is I think it's going to be crucial. It's going to be hard to do because there's a lot there. There's a lot at stake with that show because if you do it poorly, it's not a good look. Because Secret Invasion is a really cool storyline, and it sees multiple of our heroes, basically being impersonated by these scrolls. So like what characters is Marvel willing to sacrifice in that capacity? Do you have any ideas? Who would you make a scroll? I guess.
I mean, that's a great question, but I think ultimately what I think this show is going to be is not going to be at all what people expect. I think it's going to be a lot smaller in scope than the original comic was because the original
Oh
comic, The
yeah,
Secret
yeah,
Invasion,
yeah.
was like multiple, like was like tons of characters, right? And it was like epic in scope. I think this is going to be very much more a more so personal story about Nick Fury and more so about like the infiltration of the government versus the infiltration of like
Ah,
heroes. So I think when we talk about who could potentially be a scroll, we have to look at that aspect too. I think a couple heroes could definitely be scrolls, but I don't think it's going to be like as like crazy as some might think. That makes sense.
Maria Hill maybe. They maybe not even heroes. Maybe it's more like there are certain organizations that have scrolls embedded in them.
Yeah, maybe something like that too. Yeah, I could see that for sure. For
Right.
sure.
Because if you were a scroll, you'd want to, kind if you because that's what people forget. People are like, well, the scrolls are good guys. No. There is a faction of scrolls that are on our side. Those are the ones that we have seen show up to date. There are bad scrolls. We know this. We know this. There's and those are the ones that are going to be, with the ill intent. The secret invasion, if you will. But a big thing here is that I mean the Thunderbolts, which has been rumored for a while. The Thunderbolts, although I found out last night, RJ,
Mm.
I didn't know for some reason. I think I knew, but it just didn't dawn on me the right way. Dude, William Hurt is not alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are they gonna make that up?
I think that they have an opportunity where they can name the team after Thunderbolt Ross to kind of honor him. The government would maybe name it after him. I think that you have Julia Louis Dreyfus' Val character. So I
Yeah,
think that would probably
yeah,
be your answer
yep.
for that.
That's perfect. Yep. That's probably why she was brought in. And I wasn't even thinking about it. But yeah, man, it dawned on me. Someone said it yesterday. I'm like, wait, what? What are you talking about? And they're like, yeah, William Hurt's dead, man. I was like,
Yeah, sadly he passed away, and that is going to be really sad because I feel like we're not going to be able to see Red Hulk, which I think would have
yeah.
been really cool. I mean, they still could, right? They would
And
just like say,
they could
yeah,
do a they could do a CGI rendition, and it would never he would never turn back into Thaddeus Ross.
yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah, I mean that's definitely a possibility. Would they want to do that though? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Abomination could be a good bet as well. But Abomination has its own
Yeah,
storyline.
I think they're gonna announce the team lineup of the Thunderbolts probably at D23. So because remember they still got D23, and that's gonna be huge too because they got a lot of stuff to announce for there too. So
Yeah, and that's I mean they're gonna lean into the Star Wars stuff there as well, assumingly.
yes, Star Wars will have a presence there. Yes, yes.
Because I mean they didn't have a presence tonight. I mean yesterday, right?
No, it was just Marvel, but that's typical. Star
Yeah,
Wars, I don't think really goes to Comic Con. So
yeah. Oh, they don't?
no, because they have their own event, Star Wars Celebration, their own
Yeah,
convention plus
yeah.
D23.
Oh, okay. I see. I'm a general audience member for Star Wars, so I thought I always thought they did Comic Con. Hey, Raya,
Hey, what's up, Rhea?
Michael. Who you guys got cast for Fantastic Four? Well, here's one thing. I don't think that John Krasinski is going to end up being cast.
Nope, I don't think so either.
Yeah, because
I thought he was at one point, but now I'm like, nah, it's not gonna happen.
yeah,
Not
I think that the reaction, I think they were trying to gauge the reaction, and I think the reaction was overwhelmingly positive, but that also gives the actor leverage, and John Krasinski doesn't come cheap. So I think they might want to start off with someone a little bit more unknown, and then use the multiverse card to get out of jail free.
Yeah, I mean that's a possibility. I could also see too. It could be a situation where maybe they're also thinking to themselves, "Hey, like this was just meant to be a one-time appearance. Let's not like
Right,
do
right.
overkill. Like this was meant to just be a one-time thing for the fans. Let's actually cast the actor we really, really think would be better fit though for the long term. Because whoever's going to be Reed Richards, I mean, that's a major character that's going to be around for a very long time. So you got to make
The
sure you cast somebody who's
longest.
willing to be around for a while.
Right, and John may not be. You know,
Well,
he might
yeah, and he's a
he
director. He's a
he's a
busy man.
director. Yeah, that's what I mean. So he's got so much on his plate and so much aspiration that it's hard to keep him locked down for a long term contract. And Marvel is notorious for wrapping people up for many years, not just one, two, three. Robert Downey Jr. could do whatever the fuck he wanted, but that's usually not how it went.
Mm,
Like those original cast members, they were the ones who could really do what they want, right? After a certain point, you know, they were doing one deal pictures because we really didn't know if what their futures were going to entail. Um,
right.
I think Marvel's getting smarter about their contracting and doing shorter terms, but they still like to guarantee that they have these actors and they're willing to be on set, for multiple things.
Oh no, 100%, 100%. But also, I think they're trying to be a little more relaxed on the contracts, just a little bit. That way, that they can entice more actors to want to join. Because even somebody like Oscar Isaac, for example, like his contract is not the same as the typical Marvel contract. It's a little more flexible, so he could really come back whenever he wants. It's not like he's like mandated to do this, and this. He can really come in whenever he wants.
Right.
Um,
Right.
because they really have no set plan for when he's going to come back. Actually, so that's just kind of the way it rolls right now. But I mean, again, you got an actor of that caliber, you can't really complain too much because again, they got a great actor. So
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. And I mean, yeah, yeah. I have no corners with that, but and money does talk. Money is going to be at the end everything, and the bigger the studio gets, the harder it is, you know, to stay low key, right? To because now, I mean, when people talk to actors, they I notice a question that a lot of them get asked now is like, would you ever be in a Marvel movie? Oh, what character would you want to play? Right? Those are people people associate the brand with success. And with that becomes big paydays. So Marvel's Marvel now. And I think that's one of the separations of the brands too that I like, because Marvel, they churn out movies. And yeah, but, they're slapstick. Sometimes they're slapstick funny. Action adventure movies. Um, but I like it, and I've always loved it. But then I have DC that's darker and grittier, and push, doesn't pull their punches as much. Um,
Hmm.
and that's what I like about the yin and yang to it. And I'm just sad that one feels like they have to be like the other.
Yeah, I mean that can definitely be a problem. I think overall though, like it's funny because so many studios, so many other brands have tried copying their success, and like none of them have actually like managed to do it right. So it's kind of interesting looking at that too, where it's like, what are they doing that everyone else just can't seem to get, right? It's more like,
Right.
wow. I mean, we are very lucky. Let's be fair. This is not. This is very abnormal. It's an abnormal
The
amount of
chances
success.
the chances that the MCU worked were slim to none. And you know, it really it took a miracle. Robert Downey Jr. was not the bona fide good guy that we all know him to be these days, right? Like he was a gamble. He was a gamble in itself, and they
Yeah,
took that gamble, and it paid off triple fold, tenfold. So, if Iron Man doesn't work, this whole thing doesn't work.
yeah. No, I mean you're not wrong. That's
Say
that's that's really a that's kind of thing where people are like, oh, it's just like what they did's not easy, right? I feel like
no,
we very
no,
much take it
and
for
and
granted.
and and RJ, tell me in how many of Phase One's movies were resounding successes?
Wow.
Because they're
I want to
not
say at
all of
least
them.
no, not all of them. I want to say maybe like three, three.
Three, three. So you have, I would say, I would say you have Iron Man 1 and 2, maybe not even number 2. Maybe let's just say Iron Man, right? You
Mm.
have Avengers, and what would the other one be? Thor, maybe?
I mean, I think Captain America and Thor were like modest successes. They weren't like huge hits, but they were pretty. They did pretty well. They did
They
okay.
did, yeah, but they weren't resounding over the top. They, they,
Right,
they, they
right,
wouldn't
right,
they wouldn't signify the they would not be able to foreshadow the how big this became just by looking at those, because
right.
you would think, okay, they did something pretty cool here, but so far it's been okay, right? It's been good. But it really, phase 2 really solidified the MCU as a juggernaut, because not only were they able to keep their continuity, but they were able to keep the audiences invested in guessing, because the lure of the big bad, Thanos, right? Right after Avengers ended, right? People lost their fucking minds. And then the other people in the audience who didn't know who Thanos was, they were like, why did those people react that way? They went home and looked it up, and they found
Mm-hmm.
out, oh, that's who this guy is. And then, that's where really this whole thing kicked off, was, that Thanos reveal at the end of Avengers. And obviously the iconic, I'm here to assemble the Avengers, right? The Avengers initiative.
Yeah, I mean that was like the immediate promise of, oh, okay, they're actually trying to do something here, right?
Right. Yeah, yeah, that was, and then, the moment in Avengers when they circle up. I mean, it is many franchises have tried to recreate that moment because it was so iconic. Justice League tried to do it, at the end when they or not really at the end, but when they're in battle and they're, that it's slow motions when they're all running, and then the Batmobile's going, and then they also try to do it at the end when in the Snyder cut they're all overlooking the silo, and it doesn't even come close to that moment in Avengers, because
Yeah, I
it,
mean it's still a great moment though.
oh,
I mean,
don't get me wrong, it's great. Superman pulling him up out of the darkness. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, awesome. But it for wow factor, that Avengers moment will never be able to be topped because it was the first time on screen anyone had seen a team assembled of such a caliber.
Right.
And the money, right? The money. The Avengers f- blew their expectations away. So, and it was like unlike anything they've ever seen before. So that leads us to this whole Infinity Saga. The Infinity Saga wraps up. I related it last night to be like it's on you're being on ecstasy, right? You get
Mm.
you get to such a
Well,
high,
it's like, yeah, you're on such a high. It's like now it's like, oh, okay, I'm off the highest a little bit, right? It's just like, oh
right?
god,
And
it's like
then
the hangover a little bit.
yeah, and then phase 4 rolls around and we're kind of not sure where we're headed. The deep fans like, RJ and myself, we kind of knew that we were headed towards either something to do with, the Kang uh multiple Kang iterations and Secret Wars. They were both planting seeds for these conflicts. So
Yeah.
the fact that, you know, that we're looking at these two logos solidified that thought, that notion that we were headed towards this. But seeing it is remarkable. The fact that they even told us that they're doing Avengers movies was a surprise because
Mm.
I had theorized that they were not. That an Avengers movie announcement wasn't even being considered yet because of the fact that they were trying to do a lot with Disney Plus, solo projects, and getting the post Infinity Saga off the ground, which is now being dubbed what?
The multiverse saga. Yeah.
Right. So I did not think that they were going to announce these two films, but I mean, what does this mean to you, RJ?
Like I said, I think that they realize that even though I think that Phase Four has been perfectly fine, I do think it's been a little weaker. I mean, not like bad. I want to clarify. There's been a lot of great stuff, and I'm not trying to come across like an entitled fan or anything. It's more so just like, okay, like there's just been a lot going on. We're trying to like figure things out a little bit. We're trying to like, okay, and that is perfectly fine, right? But I think
Hola.
that they realized they needed to deliver on giving us a roadmap, and they need to deliver on letting people know and reassuring people not only are we the number one game in town, but we understand what you want. We understand what you're trying, what you we understand that we need to deliver on the spectacle. We need to deliver on fan expectations, right?
Right.
Which is something I feel like gets missed a lot by the competition, right? Where it's like you're not living up to fan expectations, right? You're kind of like you can barely get even like the simple things off the ground right now, which
Right.
that's a whole other conversation. But I mean, like they got problems, right? There's just a lot of problems.
Yeah. There's no
That
doubt about it.
but that being said, again, they understand the importance of listening to their audience. I think too, and they understand at the end of the day they got to bring the hype because Phase Four has been a little muted, just a little bit. Like it's not like
It
it's like
has been.
dour or anything. It's not like, oh my god, doom and gloom. It's more so like let's reassure people that we know what we're doing, right?
Exactly. And let's show them that we're, yeah, like you said, we're listening. Because and then again, that also brings me to a point where the, when you shift the when you shift your look over towards Warner Brothers, they aren't as they're simply not as capable of giving us this kind of time frame, right? New leadership is there. They haven't had time to properly plan out where they're going yet. Warner Brothers has had a track record of not being transparent in the sense of like, hey, this is where we're headed. And I think that is a fundamental problem because the fans drive sales. What Marvel did yesterday was ensure that the die-hard fans are going to sprinkle this throughout the general audience, and the general audience will be excited. They might not know why, but they will be excited. And Warner Brothers to date has had trouble with getting fans excited. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean they've had a serious. I think they suffer from the most is a clear lack of planning and a clear lack of fan communication.
Execution.
Well, yeah, execution too, but they're like not even just execution. They're just bad at like communicating with people. They don't know how to communicate to their fans what they're trying to do, not in an effective way. And that's not to say I don't like what comes out from them, but again, it's more like people expect so much more from you, and you're not living up to your potential, kind of deal, right? It's like we're kind of just like waiting in the winds, right? We're just like, what are we doing here? So that's a problem.
It is. It is. And and I've always resented DC for it is the fact that um when something like the Ezra Miller situation happens, when something like uh you know Zack Snyder happens, they will not come out and talk to you about it, right? They won't say, "Hey guys, this was our decision. But don't worry, this is what we're planning." They never reassure. They leave us to speculate. And when you speculate, that's when people like Sil Abdul are able to create these false narratives and false expectations. I mean,
Yeah.
how do you think Sil's feeling today?
I can tell you the reality of the situation, what it should be. I would say he should be feeling pretty embarrassed for himself. I think he should be feeling like an absolute clown, especially because he honestly, both him and Mikey completely failed. They completely
Mikey,
failed.
I lost all my respect for Mikey Sutton the moment I saw Matt Jarbo's tweet that he is still trying to peddle the Snyderverse narrative,
Well, it's not even peddling the Snyderverse narrative, which, listen, that's a
moving
whole
the
other thing.
goalposts.
Well, it's moving the goalpost, but it's also like I'm literally seeing some of like their fans and so their listeners being like, "Oh, they're telling me that I should believe it's coming back because he's in Teen Titans Go."
Oh, by
Like,
the way, what a fucking joke that is.
oh, I think it's
What a
hilarious. I think it's
what a
hilarious. I
what
love
a
it.
what an absolute troll. Matt Jarbo had to sit me down last night and say, "Ty, this isn't a joke. This is what's happening." I wouldn't believe him. And I told him, I said, "If I find out you're fucking with me, I'm going to be super pissed." I look it up. It's real. I cannot believe that and he's a director who's brought in to make
Yeah,
I couldn't even believe it.
I
I,
know.
I
I think it's funny. I like it. I think it's funny. I think it's a good joke. I think it's like, oh,
Sil,
that's kind of
let's I'm about to get a little aggravated here, guys. Sil and Mikey are the new Matt from Lightcast and Taylor from the Cultured Nerd. They that and you know what the fucking ironic part is? I hope Sil sees this. I hope Mikey sees this because yeah, my channel might not be as big as yours. I might not have a cult following like you do. But you know what I don't do? Is I don't lie, I don't grift, and I don't steal people's money. Right? I don't steal I don't pass off scoops that aren't my own. Well, that are Mikey's and
hmm
and 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 uh and bait people into voting for me for a fan award and offer scoops. So this is what I'll say. Sil, you ran from Lightcast in the Culture Nerd because you're a schemer just like them and you saw their scheme and you wanted to replicate it for yourself because you're a scumbag. I've had you on the channel a couple times and honestly, I respected you. At least to have a conversation with you. But as of lately, I I just I think you're a bad person.
I mean, my biggest issue has always been, especially like to monetize scoops, I think is a big problem, but also to monetize a narrative, to monetize an idea, right?
Yeah,
It'd be one thing if he was making content all about like all to himself, but the fact that the content is based around selling people an idea and selling people a false hope, I think is the bigger issue here and what actually I think is more disgusting
right,
personally.
right.
I think it's a big issue. I genuinely do. I think there's some ethical issues I've always had with them from the beginning that often gets overlooked. But again, it's bad. I honestly think that it's pretty bad.
Yeah, and the fact that Matt Jarbo, by the way, Matt Jarbo was the one of the only people who defended Mikey Sutton well, aside from Sill's audience, Matt Jarbo would defend Mikey to 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 the world's end. And the fact that he even disavowed it, that's telling
Yeah.
because I mean that says it all. It really does.
No, I mean
Because
you're not wrong. No, you're not wrong.
yes, scoopers are bad for fandom because they constantly throw shit at the wall for your money so that they can and then what they do, by the way, this is the main thing that they do is they play it both ways so that no matter what they can tell you, yep, see what I told you, I told you, I told you,
Well, they're
I
like
said
they're
I
the
said
new snake
this.
oil salesmen, the new fortune tellers who would scam people back like the 80s and 90s, right? It's just like it's the same shit, you know. There's nothing different about it. It's all kind of just the same kind of thing, right? So I mean, like we've seen the playbook before. We've seen the
Yeah,
playbook. We know what it's like.
Lightcast was famous for it. Famous for this tactic. And the culture nerd, you know, they didn't I'll you know what at least I'll give them is they never took super chats and um I mean they did monetize their channel, I believe, but all the money or did they take super chats?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I really did not pay attention much to them until the aftermath of their downfall, to be honest. So
And if anyone in the audience can let us know, did Lightcast take super chats? Because I know the money that they made, they said that they donated to diabetes. Because Matt did have diabetes.
oh,
Oh yeah.
they have the
Oh
Manscaped partnership.
yeah.
Okay.
Which a lot of people don't know if it was real or not.
Hmm.
Some people said that they made it up. But I guess like because I don't know that um could you do that? Because the code was footsies. It never really made sense to me anyway.
I honestly, I mean, it's not
Because
impossible. I don't know.
well, think of this. Most of the time when you're a um content creator and you have a sponsorship, the way that you do your sponsorships are it's like if I were to do one, right? With
Hmm.
Manscaped, mine would be all right, guys, visit manscaped.com/pop for Pop Culture Corner, right? Joe Rogan, it's always, code Rogan, code Joe Rogan. Joey Diaz, code Diaz, code Coco. Like, why was it code Footsies? It never made sense to me at all.
Yeah, I mean that's a great point. Honestly, not one I've thought about. Honestly, I think that's actually a really astute point there.
Yeah, it never made sense. It never made sense. So let's enough talking trash because I don't want to do that. But honestly, I honestly I really and I said earlier that I don't think Sill's a good person. I take that back. I do not. I did not mean that. I think Sill's a good person. I just think that he is lost himself along the way when he saw the money start to come in. Um, and he saw that he could basically say what he wanted to say and get these people to believe it. And then he could get them to pay for it. And money, money corrupts. Money corrupts absolutely. He felt a certain power over his audience, right? He was the one with the information, right? Whether he got it from Mikey or not was a different story. But he was like, I'm the gatekeeper of this information. You're going to pay me to get it. So, in that way, that's being a bad person, right? So, I can't respect it. I can't. RJ, I know you only have a couple minutes left.
Yeah, I have to get going actually in just a second. But if there's anything you'd
Um,
like me to
yeah.
speak on real quick, I can.
Implications of Shazam: Fury of the Gods using the 2017 Justice League footage. We lost you, Bo. Um, so basically, while we wait for him, Guys, the Shazam Fury of the trailer for oh my god, Shazam Fury of the Gods trailer did debut at Comic Con and online, and it's great. But in the opening sequence, actually, we could probably play it before he goes. Hopefully, um, we could probably play it before he goes. Hey, William.
Hey, how you going? How's it going, Ty?
Hey, brother. I haven't seen you in so long.
Yeah, our schedules just haven't been lining up. It's been crazy.
Not at all, bro. Not at all. Um, there he is.
See, my apologies. There's a power surge and it just flickered off. No, but to answer your question before I have to dip, I think that the implications are honestly not very much. If I mean honestly, like
Well, they had already been telling us for a while that JL, even Zack Snyder said Justice League 2017 was canon in the eyes of the executives at Warner Brothers, but certain filmmakers didn't agree with that. But clearly they're using. I mean,
I
it
think
was
they honestly just used whatever archival footage they had available and whatever was corporate synergy enough to where it made sense. I mean, they just probably had access to that footage and they used those shots. I really don't think it's a sign of, oh my god, it means this is canon or that's not canon anymore or this or that. I just think they used whatever was available to them from a marketing perspective. So
well.
I know it's kind of the boring answer, but that's honestly what I think it was.
Come on.
Listen, I know it's the boring answer, but I honestly don't think it like really means that much. I really don't.
That's something they're going to have to answer, though. Be honest with you, one of the things that they could do to solve a lot of their problems is just laying out a map and saying what is what, where is where, and what's where are we going from here. And that's really they've missed several opportunities to do that. The what is canon and what isn't shouldn't even be a discussion at this point in the game. The fact that it is an indictment on them.
It is. I agree. I agree with William because William, before you were here, we were just talking about that. Like the fact that Marvel went out of their way to chart where we're going through phase, with even some phase 6 announcements, right? Um, Warner Brothers has historically not been transparent on telling the fans which direction we're headed.
Yeah, and that's a problem. And now, yesterday, like I said, even if you don't want to bring up, I can make my case that that was a bad, not a very great day without even bringing up the word Snyder or Cavill. You showed up to the big game with hand grenades when you had a nuclear arsenal at your fingertips. You
Right.
can't show up to Comic Con. And like I said, when RJ was with me last night, I made it a purpose to put up the one of the older DC emblems up there that says Superman Comics, a Superman publication. The expectation for DC is Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. It's not up to YouTubers. It's not up to fans. It's not up to corporate executives. That standard was set long before any of us were born. Your
Right.
job as an executive is to uphold those expectations. And if you can't, make room for the next guy who can. That's where all this comes out is the fact that they haven't done that. It's like weeds. When you diverted from the path of Snyder, you didn't have anything else to blow people's
Right.
socks off.
Right.
Had they done that, yeah, they would have still had some people that were hardcore fans of his, but the noise would have been overwhelming from the general public who would have been like, wow, this is great, because we change directions all the time. Film companies do it, directors do it, directors are removed and replaced with people, and it's done seamlessly when the next plan in is the better plan. But to not have any plan is where all this has gone up. It's like weeds. When you don't take care of your garden and plant new grass, what comes in? Weeds.
Exactly. Exactly. So what do you think the implications of this them using that footage is?
Unfortunately, I don't think they put much thought into it because they don't have an organizational structure of it in their head already. And that's why we don't know what the organizational structure of their universes is. That's a big problem. So they're just using, like RJ said, footage that they have at their disposal. If they were organized, there would be a plan behind all of this. Listen, I don't need DC to do with everything that's in my head. I don't need them to give me everything I want. I just need to know what is the blueprint. You don't
Right.
have to give up the goose. What is the blueprint? What am I buying into? And they
Yeah,
haven't done that.
because we are
Yes.
direct stakeholders. We have a stake held in the company because we're the ones who
Emotionally.
pay. Yeah, no, because we pay. We're the consumer, right? We have a direct stake in the product that's made because if it's not good, we're going to stop paying for it and thus they cannot continue. So, they need to be a little bit more transparent with their audiences because if they don't start to if they and I do believe that Zaslav will usher in a new kind of transparency amongst the fans. But I think for now, they didn't have enough time to prepare, which leads me to believe that fandom actually might be the spot next year that a lot happens for
There needs
DC.
to be a fandom. There needs to be a fandom before next year. Had yesterday given people enough expectations and anticipation to go into the fall with, I would say, nah, you don't need a fandom. You got 2 movies coming out, and they're going to have an uphill battle to begin with because they're as big as The Rock is. Black Adam's a B character, Shazam's a B character. And the general public doesn't gravitate to these characters as much as they do. In their box office, the box office for Shazam, which was a great movie, showed that. It's your expectation when you're talking about a cape and a guy flying through the sky is Superman, but you're giving me Black Adam and Shazam. So you're going to have to market that. It can work, but you have to market it, and you can't. You have to do some things to make these 2 movies appealing, and that's all you have for quite a while. So yeah, they need a fandom. There's too many gaps, and somebody told me people want to point out, oh, the Batman was successful and the Joker was successful. That's great. That money's been made. That money's gone. That anticipation.
That money never went to Warner
Well,
Brothers.
half of that money. I'm sorry, half of that money is made, and half of the money's gone. But when you're people, what amazes me, I don't want to hear that you can build momentum on standalones. You can't. That's literally the definition of standalones. The comic book mentality is shared anticipation. When I walked out of No Way Home, my anticipation was walking into Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, and so on and so on. You haven't had Superman on a proper story on the big screen and since 2000, 17, 18, if you don't include Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah,
Aquaman
2017.
came out 2018. There's too many gaps in what they're doing, and there's too many multi-directions. You can have standalones, that's fine, but they cannot be the basis of your universe if you're trying to make money for shareholders and get financiers to put up hundreds of millions of dollars. It's just not going to work. The shared universe is not just a Marvel thing, it is a comic book storytelling apparatus that's been in place 80 years now.
Agreed. So, guys, just aside, so TW, I want to get your thoughts real quick. What are your thoughts on the implications of Shazam using Justice League 2017 as canon?
I don't know. I mean, I think out of the shots, because I haven't seen as far as I don't remember, I don't think I've seen the full trailer because it had because I saw Flash, I saw Batman. What was there? Wonder Woman, I guess, was in there as well. Oh no, Aquaman. I saw Aquaman as well. But that was from Aquaman, the movie, wasn't it? That shot.
No, it was from. One second. Let's watch the trailer.
Yeah, because Aquaman's in it. Well, it's an archival footage of Aquaman.
Wow, when you look up Shazam 2, my video from last night is the second one.
Attaboy.
That's my SEO ability.
Well, yeah, I was on last night too for a while. I did an overnighter, so it was a lot of fun.
I was at a convention, bro.
Oh, that's right. You were at the one in Boston.
Yeah. We had so much fun. It was so much fun. Hey! My man, Jarbo. Oh, God, your internet is going off. That's all right.
It's really an honor to be on the panel with a man who appeared to be, to experience some form of release on a live stream while watching a TV trailer.
Wait, what?
No,
that
it's
sounds good.
oh yeah, no, I meant Matt. There was a joke that RJ had made during during his stream because we kind of watched Matt's reaction to the She-Hulk trailer.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. We're having some technical difficulties, folks. I'm sorry.
I don't think there was any particular plan, though, of them using their footage. I mean, you'd like to think so, but just the way they've rolled things out, there's just not a lot of forethought in what's been going on so far. So
Yeah, Jarbo, try not to use your camera because I think it's trying to use.
Sorry, I guess my internet cut out. It's been kind of weird today.
Yeah, just don't use your camera because it's trying to use too much bandwidth.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can
pretty
hear you perfectly now.
I don't know what's going on. It's fluctuating very weird.
Can you guys hear it?
yeah,
Yeah?
I can hear it.
I don't deserve these powers, if I'm being honest. Like, what am I even contributing? Ow! There's already a superhero with a red suit with a lightning bolt on it.
All right, so here they're using the Flash, which already brings up something people are upset with because they don't think that while this investigation is going on, that they should be allowed to be marketed.
Real quick, Ty, can I interject on that?
Yeah.
The majority of people don't know or care to that degree about what's going on with Ezra Miller. I know we do, and we talk amongst each other, but the majority of the people, Joe Average, it just doesn't resonate with them. I don't think it's going to have as big an impact with everything going on. Even if it was a headline, like I always said before, we've gone through so many things that are news stories that come and go. By the time this movie were to come out, even if they had kept it on time, nobody's going to care. Outside of the percentage of us that scan it every day, when you say people, the general public just is not going to care about this.
Okay. I hear you. All right, so
See, I actually disagree. I disagree on that because it doesn't matter if the news cycle has changed by then. People will bring it back up.
They
And
aren't
now,
really bringing it up that much now outside of YouTube, dude.
well, there's multiple Variety articles written about it, Rolling Stone articles. We're not talking small trades. We're talking large trades have been covering it. And if the situation continues to escalate, which I have no idea if it will or won't, it will come up again and it will be a problem. So, I mean, they have to nip it in the bud before that.
are we sure this is 2017's?
I can't tell. I'm on a very small screen on my phone right now, so I can't even look at the details.
They said that it's Snyder Cut footage. It looks like
The
it
color
could be
grading is
2017.
different.
I do believe this is probably Snyder, if I have to guess, but I haven't done a deep dive into it yet. Not on this.
Yeah,
not on this shot.
Okay, and then the next thing.
Bolt on it. Aquaman is literally huge.
They did.
That's from the movie.
That is
That's
from
from
the
Aquaman.
That is
Yeah.
from
That's
the
from Aquaman.
Yep, that's from Aquaman.
Which is
the movie.
directly contradicts the Snyder Cut.
Yep.
For Aquaman.
Say that again, Jarbo? I heard the last bit, but no.
Oh, sorry. This shot is from the Aquaman trailer. It's from the movie too, but it was used originally in the trailer.
Yeah, when he jumped into the submarine.
Yeah, that's still Aquaman movie, which contradicts the Snyder Cut.
Huh. This is interesting.
Because Dolph, Shazam Snyder Cut on Twitter people, they're saying they use Snyder Cut footage.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, I tried to look it up, but
I think it's the Flash and the Batman shots. I think are both apparently from the Snyder Cut.
Well, but others are saying it's the 2017 cut because of the color grading. But
Well, either if it was footage that was filmed by Zack Snyder, then it's probably in that movie. But the long and short of it being, the fact that this is from the Aquaman movie.
Well, yeah. Well, people forget that in Justice League there were Zack Snyder shots.
There was quite a few.
Yeah, there was quite a few.
He just
actually
used them horribly.
Yeah, and they altered things in it. So they took his core shots and stripped them down, took all the VFX out, and then built it back up. So, I mean, I don't know.
Literally huge and so manly, and Batman is so cool.
That might be a fucking Snyder Cut shot.
That's the one right before he jumped down. Remember when he jumps down? When the Unity, if I'm looking at this correctly, I'm really looking at it on a very small screen. I could be wrong. When he's just about to jump down.
Yeah. So
So here's the thing with this. I actually I went looking for this particular screen grab. This was debuted March 23rd, 2017. This image right here. And what it was.
Are the goggles on?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What? Can you say that again?
The goggles are on. Is he wearing the goggles from when he?
Well, it's the same image. It's just, you can take a screenshot of this and you can run it through Google Images, and you can do TinEye to see reverse image search and to see where it came from. What it was is it was actually used originally in a promotional video to announce the first trailer of the movie that was coming out in March. I think March 24th. 2017. So it was like Zack was still like, this was days after Autumn had passed away, I believe. And so like they marketed this movie within that couple days. So they just kind of threw it all together.
Which I got to admit, that's in hindsight, that's really not cool. I know it's a business, and I know that they probably had that trailer and they probably had that date locked in for quite some time. I just figured they might have moved or shifted it or something.
Hold on. I found the Justice League version of this shot.
Which one? Like Justice League's one?
No, the Snyder Cut.
There it is in the Snyder Cut.
And that was right before that was right when he jumps in, right after the Unity, and you grappling and come down.
So the color grading is different. It might just be the picture. Someone might have.
It's probably the picture because that looks more blown out. That doesn't look like. That doesn't look like palette change.
Yeah, someone might have adjusted the contrast because the skeleton or the gargoyle skeleton looks very, very, very like the shadows aren't there.
And I think this is in Justice League, though. I think this was like
they blur out this image and very quickly, like they reshot it and blurred it.
So it's where he's standing. It's where he's standing. Isn't it like where he's standing next to like the bat signal or something? And he does that.
I think so. Yeah, I have to go back and watch it again.
I don't know. I can't watch that movie again.
Yeah,
it's not because of anything.
No, I don't.
It's not simply because of the.
No, I get you, but I'm having next week, so I gotta go.
All right.
Hey, Ty, real quick, I almost got to go too because I got to fly back in. But as far as I didn't think they had a bad presentation yesterday. I just didn't think it was enough for the moment. And when you've had 5 years of sporadic, I need a plan. I think they could have been working on something Superman wise without even dealing with the Cavill negotiations or anything like that. If you look at what Marvel did, and there's half the stuff I'm not going to watch, but the structure of what they did. We don't know who's going to be in Fantastic Four, who's going to be directing Fantastic Four, who's even going to be the caterer for Fantastic Four, but yet we have an announcement for it. Right, and I think that's the game plan that they should have used. They needed to get people excited. And like I said, you don't come to the big show with your third string quarterback. And that's basically, like I said, I love Shazam the movie. I think Black Adam is going to be great, but those aren't the expectations of DC Comics. When you say DC, you know what you should be bringing to the party. and I thought they could have done a lot more. I really hope that there's a Phantom, just for the sake of the two movies that are coming out soon afterwards. But like I said, it's going to be a waiting game to see if this new management is how quickly it takes for them to take place, because a lot of what you saw at Comic-Con and recently was residuals from poor management, because it took years to get here. Comic-Con, the disappointment with Comic-Con for me just didn't happen yesterday. That was a culmination of disorganization and mismanagement, most of which is gone, thank goodness. But the stain doesn't go away immediately. You're going to have to throw those clothes in the wash a couple different times to get something new to come out of that.
Right. So, I mean, what was your favorite part of the Comic-Con announcements?
Well, for me, the entire Star Trek panel, some of the stuff that they're going to be doing there, I thought was great. But as far as the two major companies, the Marvel announcements were pretty cool. But like I said, a lot of that stuff I'm not going to watch. But I love the way it was laid out. The Black Panther, even though I disagree with not recasting T'Challa, I thought what they showed us was epic, and that, to me, in my opinion, them releasing in November, that could be Academy Award worthy type stuff. I loved the trailer. I did not love seeing another Black Panther that wasn't T'Challa, but like I said, aside from that, I think it's going to be an epic movie. Seeing the High Evolutionary come out in costume, I thought was cool. Seeing Dwayne Johnson come out in costume was cool. I thought Zachary Levi should have been out there in costume, and I thought that this should have been more to their presentation.
Well, The Rock has a direct stake in Black Adam. So if the movie financially does well, he gets a tremendous payout, right? Like, he has a direct financial stake in the film. That's why he's going out of his way to market this. So I guarantee it was his idea in the first place to go out as Black Adam, because
which is a good idea. It's a great idea.
He's so tied to the character, because people forget that Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool, The Rock and Black Adam have been tied to each other just as long.
Yeah, to the mid 2000s. But if you look at it, if you look at what The Rock did, that's what the entire company should have took that approach yesterday. First of all, the two movies you had weren't even A-list characters. So the entire DC films, and that's another thing, you need a DC film president, and maybe that'll help things. But you really, if there's one company that really needed to hit a grand slam and not just a base hit, it was them. Because the more time they take to do that, forget about the haters and extremists and occultists, or whatever people want to call them. It's the general public and their apathy. Each time that they don't take advantage of these opportunities, the general public is drifting away, and they won't say anything. They won't get on YouTube. They just won't come. And I think apathy is more dangerous than any of the venom that gets thrown across the internet. So, all right, man, I'm going to clock back in. Thanks for having me on. I hope our schedules line up a little bit more, because I'd love to come on a lot more.
Let's set something up soon, okay?
All right. Congratulations on everything, Ty. See you later, TW.
Thank you. So TW, I just I kind of ran through the rest of that trailer, and Batman was in fact the last shown.
Oh, okay, so they just kind of talked about Wonder Woman.
Yeah. So what I want to know is so I actually did want to show you a couple. So see this kid Toasty Paws? So we met him yesterday at Comic-Con, new subscriber. He has his own channels, I believe, I believe. So, head over to his channel and subscribe. Yesterday we had such a blast, guys. I want to show a couple pictures from the event. So, you got me here with two lovely and beautiful women cosplaying. This was our booth. So you could scan that QR code, and it would bring you to the YouTube page. We gained about 40 subscribers yesterday.
Nice.
Yep, me and Mando and Baby Yoda. The focus on this one screwed me. This was the booth. This was the day before Comic-Con when I was setting up. Same thing. This was right outside the Mass Mutual Center.
Very cool.
Look at these
Ooh,
lightsabers.
lightsabers.
Oh, dude, did you see the picture of me getting to hold one?
I think so. I'm not sure if I saw it.
Let me see if I find it in here. Yep, found it. All right, one sec. Look at these helmets though. They were so good.
I love the one on the right.
They were so good. The pictures they came out so good too. Yeah, look at that. Some guy customly created that. And it could
That's
change.
really dope.
Yeah, it could change color. So I didn't know it could change color because I would have totally made mine red just because of Pop Culture Corner. And
Okay.
I'm a Sith too. So but yeah, Saggy Melons and I were there. It was such a fun time, guys. We're gonna be doing so many more conventions because of this. Because we had such a fun experience.
Are you guys doing Boston Fan Expo, or are you guys just
I have
going?
I have credentials, so I have press credentials, so I can go around and interview, but I can't. I don't have a booth.
Okay, I gotcha.
What is our Discord? Everything is in the description below, guys. For all that kind of stuff. Definitely some, consider joining the membership for exclusive access and stuff like that. But you know what I did want to watch with you is
What's that?
the new Black Adam trailer.
Right on.
Did you watch it?
Yes, I did. I enjoyed it. Have you watched it yet?
Yeah, we watched it last night, but we watched it last night. But I was like so tired that like I can barely remember.
Backstreet might be back.
Are not a
What?
It was like Backstreet's back, but Cavill's not.
Ah!
gift, but a curse. Born out of rage. Black Adam.
You believe you are not worthy. But you have two paths. You can be the destroyer of this world. Or you can be its savior. The world needed a hero. Instead, it got me.
Whoa! What did you think of that?
I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to pick it apart and see all the little details. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for the JSA. Like I said, my favorite,
One of
second
my
favorite super
favorite
team.
groups.
Oh, they're my favorite actually. So I was excited for that. Like I said, it sucks that it's at the expense of something else, but it seems like hopefully there's a lot of talk from Dwayne Johnson, but there's not a lot of action so far. So I would appreciate it doesn't have to be for super long term, but a MCU style roadmap. It doesn't have to follow the tone or anything, but just to say, here we're working on this, we're working on that, we're working on that, and it's all
No,
connected
again,
somehow.
that is the fundamental issue of TC is they will not let us know what the fuck they're up to. And you know what? If we want to give it credit to because the new management, I'll give them like another 6 months before I start to ask the same questions. Like, where are we going? But I do believe that they need time to figure out, because they're taking over. They have been taking over for a while now, but maybe not 6 months, like maybe 3 months. But 3 months to give us a solid look at where we're headed. Are the Justice League at the center of it or not? Who's our Batman? Who the fuck's. Why are we getting a Blue Beetle movie? I mean, yeah, it's a movie, right?
Yeah, it's a movie.
And a Batgirl movie now before we know who our fucking Batman is in the DCEU. And don't tell me it's Ben Affleck right now, because we don't. You can't confirm that. No one can confirm it. Mikey sure as fuck can't confirm it. Sil can't confirm it. No one can confirm it, right? Ben Affleck can't even confirm it, right?
Yeah,
So
there's really not much, and it sucks because it's.
and then
I would like to see
Superman.
that.
And then Superman. We have no
Exactly.
idea who Superman's going to be. Then Cyborg. We know if Zack doesn't come back, Cyborg's not coming back in as Ray Fisher. Now
Yeah.
we have Ezra in trouble. That leaves us with 2 fucking Justice League members. Ironically, the ones
Wonder
that
Woman
had
and Aquaman.
ironically the ones that have had much success.
And rather interestingly enough, is the fact that one of them was actually a member. The Golden Age Wonder Woman was a member of the Justice Society. So I'm like, you can tie threads, but the one thing that I loved about the JSA, both in pre-crisis and post-crisis, was the fact that it was a generational superhero story. You had the older superheroes and the younger ones on the same team occupying similar roles. It was a cool idea. Like, you had Batman and you also had Robin. You had Huntress coming in after that.
Casey, come on.
Keaton is Batman, just not the DCEU's Batman.
He's Batman. And yes, he will be in the DCEU. But he is not the Batman that's going to get solo outings. The Batman that's going to get. Well, then I guess you could say, well, Robert Pattinson's going to be that Batman who gets the solo movies. No, we want a Batman that interacts with the Justice League who can also hold his own, right? Not like an old Bruce Wayne.
Exactly. Like, I want a
Casey,
guy who's not in the Nick Fury role, but
Casey, can you come on the show and tell me or talk to me about this? Because I need to I want to know your thoughts, because without a Batman that can go into battle, because for all intents and purposes, what we've heard about Keaton's Batman is he's a Batman that, yes, does suit up, but is limited in mobility and what he can do, right? He's going to be more like the guy in the chair.
he's basically just a couple, about a decade shy of
being
Batman
the
Beyond
Batman
Bruce
Beyond
Wayne.
Bruce Wayne, yeah. I'm just telling you what happens. Yeah, come on and tell me what happens. And the whole there is no Superman after the Flash, only Supergirl. Well, where does that leave the Ta-Nehisi Coates Superman and the J.J. Abrams Superman? Are they? I mean, we know they exist outside of, Earth 1, but what are the implications there? Keaton is a Batman, but he ain't the Batman. That's the one and only Batfleck. Listen, I'm a Batfleck. I'm a Batfleck fan.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Through and through.
Same here.
You'll want to watch The Flash. Listen, The Flash.
I'll see it on streaming.
Casey, we need to get access to The Flash early so that we can watch it together and find out and figure it out, because this is going to be a movie that I've been long saying will be a pivot point for DC. But the problem is the Ezra Miller situation right now. God forbid it turns out to be true. What do we do then? TW, what do we do then?
Ask the what do we do in the event of? Sorry.
If Ezra Miller is guilty of what he is being accused of.
There's literally only two options in my mind, at least as a fan. The only options are recast, or as I've said in other chats before, nuke from orbit and start again.
Okay. Yeah. So that means everything.
Yeah, which I mean,
Pattinson.
but the worst. No, like no, I'm talking about like the prime continuity. You can get away with things like the Batman and Joker. Put them on the under like a black label imprint. Like I think that they honestly should put together like distribution labels where it's like the prime continuity is DC Universe and everything else is DC Black Label.
Disha, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce the name exactly. Are you the person who's been conversing with me over email? Answer if you can answer that would be wonderful.
Well, no, Casey, he can't be Batman forever. That was Val Kilmer.
God, I love you, TW. I miss you so much. Batfleck can't be Batman forever. We know that. But why can't he be Batman? Why would you get... What was one of the number one complaints about Batfleck? Oh, he's too old. So we're going to replace him with a 70-year-old Batman? Come on. Deisha, would you like to come in? So Deisha might be a third host of the Pop Culture Corner.
Oh, okay.
Yes. We're looking to bring in some female talent, and not, that it had to be a female, but we're looking into, someone who identifies as a woman, so that, it's not just guys talking about pop culture, right? We want to be able to destigmatize, the only guys like comic books and movies. So bringing a woman on, would drive that female analytic up and get more females engaged. And Deisha, I know she's done things in the past. I know that she's smart, and I would love for her to join. So she can't tonight. Well, we'll have to plan a date. Not that kind of date.
I got you. Don't worry.
We would let's email me. I'm gonna give you my phone number, and we'll talk, and we'll schedule something for this week. It'll be a one-on-one, and we'll kind of get to know each other.
This was a great 4 days, I gotta say. I mean, Comic-Con was fun. For other sorts of non-Comic-Con fun that I enjoyed, please consult my audio avatar.
What?
Oh no, the Blue Jays.
I have no idea what's going on.
Oh no, I was saying I enjoyed myself this weekend over Comic-Con and stuff like that. But I said for non-sports stuff, please consult my audio avatar, the picture of the Blue Jays logo.
Oh, I love it.
It's great to be on with my friend from Massachusetts.
I fucking hate you. I hate you, but I love you.
Honestly, I'm
No!
not lying. I joke with
Casey.
Aaron. I joke with Aaron that we were like, this will probably be the only wins we get all year at this point after something like that.
Right. Casey, I'm not mad. Trust me, I'm not. I am a firm believer that whatever happens. Whatever the studio does, that's their decision to make. Whether fans react and accept it, that's a different story. Now,
and with regards to Keaton being Batman long term, with regards to Supergirl being long term, let's bring it back to one of the key parts at the beginning of our conversation. Because of Warner Brothers, I don't know.
Yeah,
if
they would just come out and fucking say something, maybe we would know. Speaking of Casey Walsh
Hey, why are you
guys.
guys mad? Why are you mad at me? It's not like I fucking made the movie. I don't know what
Oh,
to do about
you
it.
no. You must not have heard what we were saying.
Oh no.
We're not mad. We're not mad. I'm just saying that in your in your perspective, what are the benefits of Keaton being the long-term Batman for the DC universe?
I mean, I don't know what long term means. I think the plan is to get him to a crisis movie. I don't know how long that is going to take them. I don't know if they've moved that plan up because of the new management or the current situation or whatever they do. You know what I mean? But I mean, I think that's the plan. Is they just needed somewhere they could get to reboot and keep as much audience on board as they could. And I think people need to understand too. It's not like WB didn't try to keep Ben Affleck around, or they didn't try to keep these people. They left on their accord. So they had to pivot. Like they had to make these changes. So that's kind of where they're at. And so yeah, they kind of.
And that's a valid point. That's a very valid point.
Ezra Miller is shooting them in the foot right now. So I think take that out of the perspective, and I think that they do have a plan. Yes, maybe it's on them because they haven't come out and said, "Hey, this is the plan." But like, I think they do have a plan moving forward. But I think that they surrounded themselves with troubled actors, and that kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit. And
well, the worst part was the fact with regards to at least specifically Ezra Miller. If we're operating under the assumption right now that those allegations are true, the worst part was the fact that basically, I think half of the stuff that had happened, allegedly, happened while they were working on Justice League. So it's kind of Zack obviously hired Ezra not knowing what was going to happen. Again,
yeah.
So like that's what kind of sucks is the fact that it's like we didn't know that was going to happen. We didn't know that Affleck was going to go through a divorce. We didn't know that, and because that was what basically led to his his depth devolving into alcoholism in a sense, and his going into rehab, which they had to pull him out of for the reshoots. I apologize to I know they wouldn't be listening to this, but if any of the folks are listening, like that are involved with the old DCEU projects, I'm not doing this to I don't want to delve into your personal lives in that sense. I think it's because of the fact that no one knew what was going to happen. You can't control life in that sense, but so I think there is that problem of it being troubled actors, and it's kind of a lot.
Put Amber Heard in that situation. Like she was supposed to be a big part of, Justice League 2 or whatever.
Heck, she was in the Snyder Cut. I mean, like she was part of the DC plans before the reshoots happened.
It's not even just Ezra. So I don't know. When we had to stop comparing them to Marvel, I really hate that situation.
I hate it.
They're not the same. They're not the same studio. They're not structured the same way. They don't work the same way. It's Marvel's one goal, and their entire plan or their entire structure of their studio is based around putting out these specific types of movies. That is not WB's one goal. Like it's one of many things they do. And don't forget, when they started this, it was all do something different than Marvel. And now they're getting shit on because they're not doing the same thing Marvel's doing. It's like you guys come on.
I think one of the other issues why it's not one-to-one, and I fall guilty of this comparison as well, is the fact that Marvel Studios exists. Even though there's DC Entertainment, it's nebulous is the wrong word, but it's such a wide brush to paint with, and it encapsulates film and television, and there's so much that can be done there.
They don't have the war chest either.
Yeah, and that's true. I mean, this was a company that when Discovery purchased them, they were how much in debt? Was it at least $1.5 billion or something like that?
Yeah, it was a lot. I think it was more than that. It was several $1 billion.
It was a sizable amount, and
might have been 7, I think, or something crazy.
versus Disney, where Disney had $1 bajillion before it bought Marvel because it was Disney. Because the other thing is, Warner's doesn't another reason why I know it's all the different companies, but the fact is when you've got a bunch of revenue that's all coming back to the company, if the movies fail, hey, Disney still got the parks. If the parks don't do well, like for example during the pandemic, at least there's opportunities in streaming and and the whole media and things like that. It's a further diversified company. And with Marvel Studios, like I said, because it's so dedicated, we almost, because there's no sort of DC Studios equivalent, it's hard to look at Marvel versus Warner Brothers. You almost have to look at Disney versus Warner Brothers, which is so broad in that case. I think one of the best things would be at least just to have, a vertical would be the business term, correct? To have something.
But I think again that only offers them a better structure where they can say, okay, I'm in control of comics and animation and TV, and we can structure that all together, because right now it's all separated. But what it doesn't still offer them is they're still not going to have this giant budget backing them. And I think the argument comes on is why can't they do both, or why can't we have two Supermans, or why can't they do multiple things? And the reason they can't is they just don't have the budget. They have to pick and choose. And that's WB's fault for putting all this stuff in the multiverse, because when you have this idea of the multiverse happening, there is this idea of you can have 5 Supermans, but they can't afford to have 5 Supermans running around. They just can't. They can't do that. So I don't know. I think there's a lot more people going on than just WB being shitty at their jobs, which I don't disagree with either. They mismanaged DC when they needed to pivot from Snyder. They should have found a way to reset there and not try to drag out and hold on to whatever breadcrumbs they had left, which is what they are doing. They're trying to hold on to all the audience. They're trying to hold on to the Snyderverse, the Snyder audience, while also trying to move the story forward and get a new audience and keep the rest of the DC audience who wasn't really into the Snyder stuff. So they're up shit creek, and I don't it's not making anybody happy. And they can't move. And again, the argument, well, they're so slow. Well, yeah, when your company is sold every 2 years, what the fuck?
Yeah, you can't. That's what I've been relating to DC for a while now. It's we're at the starting line and we're running in place. We've never actually officially started the race.
Exactly. And the problem is with so many different voices and things like that, it's you almost have to go pause off, pause off this whole thing. Speaking of pause, wasn't there something you needed to announce, Ty?
Yes. New member. And he's not even just a low tier level. He's a $9.99 level member, Toasty Paws, who, again, I met at the convention yesterday where I was promoting GWW, Pop Culture Corner. We had QR codes that they could scan. We have an email list that we wrote, guys. And now, he's a member. So we had so much fun. Toasty Paws, thank you so much for your contribution to the channel. You have no idea how much it means. And thank you so much. So back to, and that's how I get to pay, for StreamYard, for contributors like who I hope Deisha will be, so that's how I can do those kind of things. So the more that comes in, the better it is. Casey, what is your implication of, you were right about the Thunderbolts, which I think we all saw coming, but you've been talking about the Thunderbolts for a while. You've been talking about the Marvel Disney Plus, what they're doing for a while. So with all that was announced at Comic-Con, do you feel a little bit of a vindication?
I mean, sure. I don't think about it that much, to be honest with you. Don't forget Nova, by the way. Also, I was on top of that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
I don't know. I mean, I think what's crazier to me is that we're already at this point. I didn't realize that by 2024, that's when they announced those 2 Avengers movies, right?
Yes.
By 2024, we'll already be at the end of another saga in 3 phases. That's crazy. So yeah,
that is kind of nuts to think about.
So
well, I mean, think about it. It took what? Because we started phase 4 during the pandemic. That was 2020. We're going to be done in 2025. If you look at phase 1 to 3, that saga, that was almost 10. It was 10 years. It was
Yeah,
11
They're
years.
doing it half the
Iron
time. I
Man
guess
was-
that's because of Disney Plus, right?
I think it's Disney Plus, and I think it's also the fact that when you look at phase 1 of the MCU, it was the fact that you had, Hulk was in Universal. Iron Man 1 specifically was done through Paramount. I think Iron Man 2 was as well. Thor was through.
Any phase 1 movie up to Iron Man 3 is through Paramount. That's why after Iron Man 3, the Paramount logo doesn't appear.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How
are you guys doing today?
A lot of people forget that Paramount was directly involved.
Paramount took the chance on the MCU before Disney. People forget that, actually.
Wait, was it Paramount or Universal?
Yep. No, Universal had Hulk.
Universal had Hulk, so Paramount made a deal with them to get that second Hulk movie.
Yeah,
so they paid a portion of their profits to them.
And Casey, I wanted to talk to you about that because you have talked about World War Hulk.
Yes.
Not on the slate, right? But that there are still untitled
8 projects, they said, were missing. So.
There's a lot of stuff they were missing, honestly.
8 missing projects, and World War Hulk is definitely something that we're going to save as an announcement because...
I don't think you'll hear about World War Hulk until after She-Hulk is done.
Right, and honestly, if I could get your opinion on this, do you think that they are So Universal still owns the rights to the Hulk films, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, as far as publicly, they do. But I mean, again, when I heard about this project, that was the question I asked. I never got an answer back. But again, it was never clear to me either to whether this was a TV show or a movie. I would assume it's a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But again, if it's a movie, yeah, they would have had to done something with those rights, which wouldn't be surprising because I could be wrong about this, but I think there's a time limit on that stuff anyway. So, I mean, there could be a situation where they somehow
I'd assume it's something like what Constantine had to do with like the Fantastic Four, for example. Like they had to make a certain film at a certain time. So it could be that.
Quite a bit of stuff they left off too. There was quite a bit of stuff they left off. Deadpool 3, the Wakanda series they announced a while ago. That Samuel Jackson series, Nick Fury series. Shang-Chi 2. Armor Wars just got taken off the slate. That was announced at the Investor Day in 2020.
The showrunner came on like Instagram and said it's still happening. So again, I think there's a lot of stuff they left off that on purpose.
Because there's so much. Well, think about it. If you look at Phase 6, there's only 3 things, and there was like what 6 spots in Phase 6 alone.
Yeah, Wonder Man, Nova. Those are the only things. Everything else you pretty much got. Whether you want it or not. Most people on Twitter.
Whoa! Did you just say Nova and then things you don't? Nova?
No. Sorry. I didn't end my sentence right there. It was on a Twitter. People were talking about
Nova is one character that I've been dying to see.
Oh no. Sorry. I messed up my whole statement right there. Sorry. On Twitter, people were talking about Marvel blowing DC out of the water at Comic-Con. It's like I don't really look at stuff like that. I go like, you got products from both.
But
let's just enjoy and talk about both.
Again, I thought the biggest surprise was it's so weird that the end of this phase or the end of this saga is going to be the first Avengers film we're going to see. They're going to be back to back, which means they're definitely related.
Yep.
And I wonder, because it's so fast, I wonder if instead of Kang Dynasty ending on a cliffhanger, if Secret Wars is the one that ends on a cliffhanger.
No, because Secret Wars is the last movie in Phase 6.
Yeah,
that image is swapped. So what I'm thinking is probably what I would imagine is Kang wins because at the end there'll be a series of incursions that'll occur. Those worlds will merge. They'll create Battle World. You'll see Kang ruling over it. Big epic choral, swell. Cut to black. Mm-hmm. Kang will return. Credits roll, and then you go into Secret Wars.
So I think the way that ends, I agree with you. I think the way that ends, though, I think Doom is the one who actually does something to Kang, takes down the Avengers, takes over Kang's spot. And then he turns into God Doom, and he ends up ruling over Battle World, and that's the next phase.
Considering
all the games are set in Battle World.
Is it in Casey, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Do you think that Kang would be working with the Skrulls
No.
You don't think
I
so?
have no idea.
No.
Because if they're setting up Secret Invasion and Kang to be the main villains of this phase, at some point they would have to meet up with each other at some point. I don't know. That was the thought I had in my
don't
head.
forget the Secret Invasion is don't forget Secret Invasion is also Phase 5.
Yeah, and it's also in 2023 too.
The weird
so my
thing is too about
Secret
Kang.
Secret Wars has nothing to do with the Skrulls.
And the weird
Okay,
thing
I probably confused the storylines then. Okay.
Yeah.
The thing
Secret
Invasion is the
Invasion
Skrull.
Is the
Skrulls.
Skrulls. Oh, okay. My bad. My
Secret
bad.
Wars is the world's merging battle world, black suit, everybody
Okay.
dies.
Right.
Glad you guys cleared up for me.
And the thing you have to remember about Kang is the Kangs you see are not going to be the same Kangs.
No.
Yeah.
So like you're going to see a bunch of different. So they're not like if one Kang fails, the next Kang you see is not going to be that Kang that failed. He's going to be a different Kang from something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I want to see. I want to see a moment of. Like I want to see a moment of like the Fantastic Four. I want to see like a moment where Reed finds out that literally his bloodline results in this version of Kang. You know, like something like that. I think also Kang. You know, in being who he is, you've got when he goes back in time. Who's one of the people he meets when he's ruling in
Fantastic
Egypt?
Four.
Well, who else does he meet? He wants to be his heir when he's back there.
Oh, King Tut.
And there's also that, but also who? Like, am I missing something?
Does he meet himself?
Well, also En Saba Nur.
Oh.
Apocalypse.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. He does meet Apocalypse.
So I'm thinking like that'd be great to kind of sow that seed. We're bringing the X-Men in anyway. I mean, that'd be cool to have a character like Apocalypse for that broader storyline if they do bring the X-Men into multiple movies later on.
Yeah, well, what's the deal with the X-Men guys? Because as of right now, the only clear indicator is the end of Ms. Marvel, right? So, are the X-Men going to be brought in the sense that they're just being created now, or
I don't think so?
Because that would be way hard to pull off.
Well, I mean, I think you could probably pull off something like the fact that you could probably find a way to pull
all their backstories would be fucked. Wolverine wouldn't have been able to fight in World War II with Captain America.
No, because but I'm saying you don't have to have him.
Yeah, but they just
there.
may have not called him a mutant back then. They just may have not known what to call it, or he may have just been. Remember?
Or he might not have even fought alongside. You might have not have fought alongside Cap. He might have fought with the Canadian Army or something like that. There's so many ways.
Stop bringing your country into this.
Remember in Eternals, Kingo was it was his grandfather or whatever instead of him all the time.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's ways you can explain. Again, I don't know. I think getting stuck on the mutants thing. Yeah, I think getting stuck on the mutants thing is going to be weird because I think they're just going to call everything mutants that they can't explain away with it was gamma radiation or whatever.
No, it's any sort of genetic mutation. I mean, literally within the span. Well, think about it. Within the span of 6 months, we're seeing the first two mutants officially in the MCU. We're seeing Miss Marvel, who is now a mutant, and Namor. So
yeah, when they showed him, I fucking lost my mind.
I'm so glad they gave him his little wings, his little fins. So where'd MSK go?
Who did we just lose?
MSK.
Oh. So with the Fantastic Four and the acquisition of 20th Century Fox, this has allowed the Marvel Universe to expand exponentially. And it's amazing. It is amazing. So the fact that the Black Panther trailer had a lot riding on it in the sense of obviously Chadwick Boseman is gone, right? There's that whole gaping hole there's that gaping hole in the franchise at this point, right? And I don't think anything will mend that feeling that he's gone, but the Namor stuff, the Atlantis stuff, I mean, it's it was a beautiful trailer. But I mean, who is going to become the Black Panther?
I'm thinking that my top 3 contenders, honestly, because I don't think it'd be M'Baku. I think to turn because it would be also not just becoming the Black Panther. It would be kind of turning his back on his god, because he has Jabari is his god, right? So to then begin to be the image of Bast, I think would be kind of a sort of a heresy of some sort. I think my top 3 contenders are probably like Shuri, Okoye, and Nakia or someone like that. That's probably the ones I can think of.
Timeout. Fox.
I don't want to say anything because I know I'm not gonna.
Yeah. Fox. Disney went. Disney went out and they said, "Okay, hey Fox, we are going to buy you and your film assets." So yeah, now they're mine. So,
and I think what's great about that, though, what's so great about that is the fact that like they own Star Wars again. Like they owned Star Wars before, but like it's the whole thing. The company that originally distributed Star Wars is now brought in house. Is kind of funny to me,
right? And then Spider-Man is owned by Sony, not Fox. Spider-Man isn't on Disney
Sony owns Spidey and not a shred of common sense.
Yeah. The Sony made the epic deal with Marvel to do the unprecedented dual studio thing, which it I mean it's been done before to certain capacities, but not like that. Not to this degree. So I mean, overall, guys, what were your takeaways from Comic-Con? What were your favorite moments, and what are you most looking forward to? We'll go around the horn.
Okay, so me first, I'd say probably the one I'm the most hyped for just the theoretically what it could be for me is Secret Wars. The trailer for Black Panther was gorgeous. It was amazing. It was cool seeing all like the different folks who appeared in costume. So like Chukwudi Iwuji appearing as the High Evolutionary, and The Rock being Black Adam. I thought that was a cool shot, and I like the fact that just the fact that they were talking about wanting to build out the Justice Society, because again I like those characters a lot. Aldous Hodge just talked about wanting to be Hawkman for years to come, but I'm really excited for a lot of the stuff that Marvel is talking about. Especially with some stuff like Thunderbolts and with Daredevil finally getting a series again, and I'm really interested to see what the new Captain America movie is as well, because I think having a title like New World Order, I'm like, all right, sign me up.
I hope it's him beating a fucking white nationalist. That would be
lizard
the best
people.
thing ever.
Just lizard people. Give me a David Icke cameo or something.
Well, did you guys see that they also trademarked the name Captain America Red, White, and Black?
Yeah,
yes, I saw that.
I think after those trademarks were found, I think they went and did a bunch of fake ones to try to throw people off. But
I do hope they do an adaptation of Truth in some capacity. I think would be really cool to see.
There's no way they're calling that movie Red, White, and Black. No way that's happening.
Well, it wouldn't be a movie. I'm saying I think it would be not New World Order, but I think Red, White, and Black, because I think that's the subtitle to Truth, like the Isaiah Bradley story.
Right. Yeah.
So I think it could go that route, which would be cool because you could also set up Patriot, which is another member of the Young Avengers.
Well,
so I think you have an opportunity for a lot of that kind of stuff to kind of seed that kind of storytelling.
Yeah, and
I think they eventually are coming to that, and that's when again they'll do a Young Avengers project, and that's when again you'll get another Kang. And I bet you they do that storyline too, but they steal it from the Runaways, where he ends up being like the bad guy by the end.
Yep.
Okay.
Speaking of the Runaways, the Gifted, and Agents of Shield, would we ever have a world where those are multiversal shows, like they exist in canon somehow?
I can believe it. I believe they probably already are. I believe that Agents of Shield would be a numbered universe out in the multiverse. Same with the Gifted. Same with the Runaways and Cloak and Dagger and what have you. I think The Gifted, it's like, and I see shows like that, I'm like, you had an opportunity because they kind of were, obviously it was revolved around Struka in a way, but like you also kind of had, wasn't Polaris in that show? Am I remembering wrong?
No, she was like the second lead, or she was the first lead, I think.
Because I never really watched it. Was Magneto in the show?
No.
Which is kind of weird considering, you know.
I think they did Charles Xavier. I could be wrong, but I think that was about as far as they got.
And then also Legion,
Maybe
right?
That was Legion.
And then Legion, yeah. Yeah, Legion. I forgot about Legion.
Completely separate.
So you think they're all completely separate? No.
Yeah, I think that I think kind of the name of Daredevil is the name of the show. It's kind of a big clue to that. Like Born Again, I think this is them basically saying, "Hey, this is a reboot. Like we're doing this like different."
I think it's a soft reboot.
So okay, yeah. By the way, wanted to talk to you about that because that's like one of the things I actually really did want to talk to you about. Daredevil. Will it be a soft reboot, hard reboot, continuation, or
here's the general rule, and just take this. This is the general rule with both universes, DC and Marvel, and this is what they're thinking when it comes to the multiverse, right? They are just going to pick and choose whatever they want and call it. Marvel will be much more meticulous about this, but they're going to pick and choose whatever they want and call it the multiverse. So, like, if they're going to take a character from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that character would have existed in the MCU in some fashion and may have had a similar past and similar history to the same instances that the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had, but it's not the same character. Same thing with Daredevil. They may have had similar experiences and they may have done similar things, but they're not the same exact character. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, so they've already introduced the whole variant thing. So
it'll probably be like Daredevil seasons 1 and 2 or something like that happen. Because what I'm interested to determine is which of the two of them, because I'm not sure if it's ever been formally stated in canon or formally stated in the MCU, is whether or not Daredevil or Kingpin or both of them were blipped. Because I've thought about like why Kingpin doesn't have his empire the way that he did at the end of Daredevil. Might have been because he was blipped, and he's basically when he comes back, he's trying to rebuild.
And like, by the way, at the end of Daredevil, he would be in life in prison with like 100-year life sentence. Like, well, how is he even walking around or doing anything?
Right,
like,
in a Hawaiian fucking shirt.
Right, and I mean, spoiler alert, rumor to be running for mayor like in the future. So it's like I don't think this is the same guy. And again, it gets confusing because you have Vincent D'Onofrio out there saying, well, like I based him, like I pretended like this was the same guy. Well, yeah, I think pretending and having it actually be the canon is different.
I think it's also going to be. I think it'll probably be like you said. It'll be picking bits and pieces, in the sense of it won't be officially, hey, Daredevil season 1 and Daredevil season 2 are canon. It'll be, okay, here, you know, Daredevil fought the Hand, fought Kingpin, Elektra died, this happened, that happened. But it's just not the same character.
Right,
well,
but
like, for example,
there will be...
like,
he wasn't saying F words during it and smashing people's face in doors and shit.
Right. And
well, I kind of
could the actual suit be the defining separation between the two, right?
I don't know, because I think he's gonna have different suits each time he shows up. So like in She-Hulk, he's gonna have one suit, and in Echo, he's gonna have one suit, and then in his own show, he'll probably have a more traditional suit.
I hope by Daredevil Born Again, I hope that he has a suit that's akin to what he's wearing during like freshman year. Because I like the black, all the black suit designs that they've done for Daredevil. I
think that's what he's wearing in Echo.
I hope so, because I love that. I love that kind of suit where it's black with red accents.
Yeah, I don't like the yellow suit. It totally doesn't make sense.
Like I think that shot in She-Hulk is a throw off. That suit, at least I heard that suit was red and yellow. And if you follow,
you can see it like as he goes into the light. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I wasn't crazy. I was like, wait a second.
Wait. Daredevil was seen in The
Yeah,
trailer?
watch the She-Hulk trailer. Oh my god, are you kidding
Did
me?
you pause? Did you pause at the title? You paused at the title card, didn't you?
Well,
You
no,
clicked away at the title card, didn't you? He was the guy that rolls in front of the car, the zoom up. That's Daredevil in his red and yellow suit.
Guys, I was at a convention for
that's true. That's true. And
6
you were
hours
basically on sleep
yesterday,
deprivation.
and I by the time I got home and did the stream last night, I could barely keep my eyes open, let alone comprehend what I was seeing. So
And
that's
your
why
voice was shot.
Oh my god! I woke up this morning and it was still gone. I
could hear you during that stream last night. I'm like, yep, that's a guy who's been to a con.
Yeah, because
I just linked the She-Hulk trailer in the private chat, by the way, if you want to give it a glance.
Yeah, at the end of the con, I stood up on the table and I went, "That's a wrap!" And I yelled it as loud as I could, and everyone clapped. And yeah, dude, my voice gone after that moment. So,
all right, hold on. Before you put this on, I'm just gonna tell you, I feel like they made this just to piss off the fucking Geeks and Gamers crew, and you'll see why. Right, first opening shot.
All right, 1 second. Let me get it pulled up. I wonder if the CGI.
It looks way better.
I think it looks better.
All right, here we go. So She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, trailer 2. Well,
wow! Jeez, what the hell, man?
Still in control, no overwhelming feelings of rage.
No, a normal amount of rage.
You do revert back to Gen form when you sleep.
Was the air horn really necessary?
For comedy, absolutely. This is a multi-year journey you're about to embark on.
Yes.
Yeah. Who's your best friend?
Nikki.
Spandex.
So guys, I want you to tell me when I need to pause.
Spandex is your best friend. Being a Hulk asks for balance. You have so much more to learn. Yes!
So I'm clearly nailing it at all these things.
If you want to go back to life as a lawyer, I respect that.
He doesn't mean that.
So I just want to point out that she's breaking the fourth wall. People have been saying, why is she breaking the fourth wall? And they have no idea that she did it in one of the most iconic runs of her books.
Not only that, like, again, I heard she has a scene or talks directly to Feige at one point, which sounds hilarious.
Wait, what?
Like she breaks the fourth wall and talks directly to Kevin Feige at one point.
No fucking way.
I heard
can
that.
believe
I
it.
don't know.
But then again,
yeah, but I don't know if it's true, but I heard that a while ago.
I still want to see, like I said, I've had a running joke for years. What I want to see when Deadpool comes into the MCU, if he ever meets Peter, I want to just be, oh my gosh, Spider-Man! I'm a huge fan. I've been a fan of yours since you were Tobey Maguire. What? No, it doesn't important. Gives him a hug.
Right.
Wouldn't it be funny if he met She-Hulk and they just both talked to the camera at the same time?
Well,
and, like, caught each other doing it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, imagine they both met each other, and they just both look out, and they're like, "Wait a second."
She-Hulk and well, think about it. Do like a red and green. He'll do like a Deadpool She-Hulk Christmas special.
Yeah.
Deadpool She-Hulk red and green with envy or something like that.
Toasty Paws, thank you for the $5 super chat. I heard there was going to be a little collab with Rick and Morty, but I'm not sure. I have no idea what that means. Rick and Morty with what?
She-Hulk is getting swifty, I guess.
More and more eccentric superhumans are coming out of the woodwork. We're going to launch a division for them. And I want the She-Hulk to be the face of it. Jennifer Waters.
Nice.
I love seeing him back.
So again, I was told that he. Sorry, I was told that he kind of steals everything.
The show, right?
Yeah. He's just like
Okay,
the best part of this whole show.
Namaste, Namago.
And for people to know, like this is supposed to be a straight up like comedy sitcom. So like expect it to be like just joke and silliness because I think that's kind of their entire intention. So if you're coming in thinking that, if you're coming in thinking that this is gonna be like a serious like introspective look at like what it means to be a Hulk, I don't think you're gonna get that at all.
Right. So
She-Hulk is on Tinder talking to the audience. If there ever was an example of how this is like straight up a comedy, I thought the trailers, and this is not pointed to you by the way, Casey. This is pointed towards the audience. Like those trailers alone, I think should have been a great indicator that this is going to be just a genuinely like comedy, funny show.
Yeah, I mean, there's not going to be a fucking laugh track, but
like Night Court with superheroes, basically.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they were kind of going, and it's supposed to be serialized too. So like, I think he talks about it here in a second, but her job is basically to represent like different like C level or C, D, Z level superheroes or villains and all like the dumb shit that they do.
Yeah, basically superheroes and supervillains need legal representation. We're hiring you to do it.
Right. Yeah. And then she'll be like the face because she's a superhero. And she most everyone already knows that she's She-Hulk somehow.
Well, what I want to know is
Gary Cole and I want to see Gary Cole and Stephen Colbert in this show. Just throw the Harvey Birdman references in here and there. That's what I need.
What I want to know.
Someone get a cookie bouquet.
What I want to know is, because she's having trouble switching back, right? Like she is having.
No, I think they're just testing. I don't think she's having trouble. I think she's, for some reason, and I don't know the origin, but I think in the comics she's like dying or something, and Bruce gives him her
transfusion.
Yeah, so I assume that's what happens here at the very beginning too. I bet because again, it sounds like it's known very early on that she's She-Hulk and all that stuff.
Maybe it's like full-on anime isekai where it's just like, oh, you get hit by a truck, and then your adventure begins.
Yeah,
right,
or it's like, or she like, or we find out her origin story as it goes along, and we hear it like in kind of backstory or whatever. But I don't know where I was going. Anyways, continue. I don't remember. I was
no. So, because people thought that she was going to mostly because there's a moment where she is on a date as She-Hulk, right? And she even takes the guy to bed as She-Hulk. So, is she Hulk all the time? And does this scene take place?
Oh, can she control it? That's what. Yeah, I think she can. I think she can control it, no problem. Because I think she wants to exploit She-Hulk, and the law firm wants to exploit She-Hulk, and so they want to use her fame as that character to kind of.
Well, then why would she even do it? Why would she have sex with him as She-Hulk?
Because he probably looked up her. He probably looked at her at Tinder on She-Hulk. So I'm sure part of the thing is like, are people into me as Jennifer, or are they into me as She-Hulk?
That even could be a good like my body, my choice, right?
You got to put I guess if you want to go that, but I'm not lying. I was going more.
But also, if any woman would go on a date, had the power to be the domineering like person, who was big and strong and could handle a dude no problem. I think they would take that opportunity at least once.
And you need to have like a bit. I think it'd be funny. Some people will get this joke, but the guy who's into She-Hulk, they need to have him in his Tinder profile likes Resident Evil 8.
Yeah, I by the way, Deisha.
Thank you for getting it, Casey.
Deisha brings up a great point. So does Wong get to like take Abomination out on field trips because we see the same prison?
Again, I think this leads into Thunderbolts. So I think that there's some kind of government rehabilitation program. And
that's what I think. That's what they converted.
Yeah,
I think that's converted the Citadel into or whatever it was.
So is that why he's bringing him to underground fighting?
Yeah, exactly. To train him, yeah, to be like,
To
hey,
train him?
yeah, because
Yeah.
like remember, like the idea for Thunderbolts is like we're gonna have a superhero team that the government can essentially control
Yeah.
and is in charge of.
Something
So like
something they couldn't achieve with the Avengers.
right, and if
Maybe
you have
that's
this
why
giant
Wong.
monster guy,
And maybe
you
that's
wanna
why
try to make him
Wong is
control
having the
himself.
conflict with Jennifer, because it's like he wants, he sees that there's something coming, probably the multiversal war, and is trying to train a warrior, even if he's a criminal, to fight for the very sake of this earth, right? And it's like, well, maybe for as far as moving him from place to place, it's like, well, I'm a lawyer. We have to do this by the book in the sense of law, right? Maybe it's something along those lines. I'm kind of here and there, but I'd imagine it's something like that.
And again, I think this is something that the multiverse saga is building up to, whereas the other saga was building up to this giant Avengers team. What I think the multiverse saga is doing is building up to these all these little pocket teams. So you'll have your Thunderbolts, you'll have your like Captain America Avengers team, that kind of core team. You'll have a young Avengers team. You may have like a lower level Avengers team or Midnight Suns like team, you know what I mean? And then they all come together in Secret Wars, and that's your big kind of like
that's the next big
moment,
culmination.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. So that's what I think they're doing. And that's what, and even Feige kind of hinted at this. He kind of said, hey, like Daredevil and Spider-Man, those are our street level. Like those are going to be our street level heroes. That's going to represent our street level.
Could you imagine? I just thought of something for Secret Wars. As far as those worlds colliding and being forced to fight for the sake of their own survival. Could you imagine if they do license out the characters from the other versions of these characters that have existed in previous films? If you literally have to have a scene where, for example, it's Tom Holland versus Andrew Garfield having to fight each other to be the last one standing when it comes to Spider-Man.
Think about this. Say that movie ends like I said, and you have God Emperor Doom, and he recreates the universe, and it's this giant battle world arena where it's a mix mash of all these different universal characters, right? Or these multiverse characters. And to give Tom Holland's contracts up, he's done 10 movies. To give him a break, you bring back someone like, or I would say probably Garfield at that point. You bring back Garfield and you do the adult Spider-Man saga, but you do it with Garfield instead of Holland.
Ooh, great idea.
That'd be crazy and interesting, but we'll see. Again, we have the roadmap. We just need to kind of start picking up the breadcrumbs in the next little while.
Billy Robert with the
I just don't know
$1.99.
where you go after multiverse. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna have a real hard time figuring that out. Like who's your next big bag? And I know people want to say Galactus, but I just don't agree with that at all. I don't think
Galactus isn't
a big bad that you can that requires like all this giant thing. You know what I mean? Like, and again, like how do you fight? Like how do you make that a movie? Like he just shows up. You know what I mean? Like it's not like you can. And the Fantastic Four make a weird gun, and then they shoot him, and then he goes away. Like you know what I mean? Or like, So I don't know. I don't know how you do that. You don't want to do Rise of the Silver Surfer again, where that movie was about essentially the Silver Surfer, and Galactus was just kind of a weapon or whatever. But
right.
So I don't know how you do that.
Billy Robert with the $1.99 or the $2 super chat. Will Bruce be in She-Hulk for the whole show? Casey, what do you think?
Will he be in She-Hulk for the whole show? I don't know. I think once she goes to be a lawyer, I don't think he'll be in it that much. But as far as I know, he has a significant role, and we may or may not see other people who are related to him in the show.
Awesome. And on that note, guys, that is probably going to be wrapping it up. I do have to make a trip, and we're at the 2-hour mark, which is 45 minutes past what I usually want to do. So, guys, let's start it off like a ringer. TW, if they want to continue the conversation, where can they find you?
If you want to continue the conversation, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit at TWK34 in the Chiron listed below.
All right. And can you say this line?
Of course. Because over at the Pop Culture Corner, we do it for you, and we do it for the culture.
My man. All right, Casey, if they want to continue the conversation, where can they find you?
You can find me at the Commerce Kid on Twitter.
All righty. And can you say the phrase?
I can't see it, so no, I can't.
Say, we do it for you. We do it for the culture.
We do it for you. We do it for culture.
My man. My man. My man. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. It's been a pleasure. It's been fun, as it always is. Guys, make sure to like, share, subscribe. If you want to support the channel further, you can become a member, send a super chat, or even after the fact, you can give a super thanks now. And not to mention, our store is now integrated with YouTube. So right below each video, you can check out our merch. And that also supports the show. Now that it is integrated, I will be updating the store to have more relevant and, kind of funnier shirts. So it's going to be really cool. Guys, I love you. This is the best the best time that I have is on the show with you guys. And until next time, Doomcock, bring us out.
You can't make this shit up.